Hello, welcome and welcome back to another video. So in this video, we're going to be looking at factorization using trinomials. We've already looked at factorization using common factor. We've also used grouping. We've also used difference in squares. So if you still haven't watched those videos, please have a look at those videos before you continue with this one, unless this one is specifically the one that you're looking for. So in this case, in this video, we're going to be looking at trinomials. A trinomial, let me just make some notes on the side over here. So whenever we're dealing with factorization using trinomials, trinomials. So with trinomials, it's always going to be in the form x squared plus bx plus c. That is the form of a trinomial. So I'm also going to say ax squared because sometimes you might have 5x squared plus 6x plus c, or sometimes you might have x squared plus 3x, not c, let's say 10, 3x plus 9, or x squared minus 3x minus 9, whatever the case. But you should be able to identify that our a value is the one just in front of the x. So in this case, in this one, we don't have an a value. And then we have our b value. We'll just use a different highlighter. So our b value, which is just this one here in front of our x. And then our c value is the one at the end. So that's just what I mean when I say whenever we're factorizing and we're using trinomials, it needs to be in that form. Okay, so that's how you spot a trinomial. In this video, I'm going to show you guys 3 ways in which you can go about it. Please pick the one that is suitable for you, whichever one that you feel like is the easiest for you. Just use that one. So let's get into the first method. So let's look at question A, for example. We have x squared plus 17x plus 72. So we have x squared plus 17x plus 72. So let's look at the first form, the first way of doing it, essentially. Okay, so this is the first way. The first method is you need to find, so you have to find two numbers that if we multiply together, will give us c value, will give us the value of c, and if we take those numbers, if we add those numbers, it will give us b, the value of b. So that is step 1, or well, the first method. This is first method, because now I thought that is step 1. That is the first method. So we need to find two numbers that if we multiply together will give us the value of c, and if we add together, it will give us the value of b. So in this example, we need to already identify to say, okay, our b value, let me just our b value and our c value is 72, and our b value is 17. So which numbers, if we multiply together, will give us this, and if we add, will give us 17? So we'll take a minute to think about it, but essentially those two numbers will be 9 and 8. Because if we say 9 multiplied by 8, we will get 72. And if we say 9 plus 8 gives us 17, and then now it will give us our brackets. So there's a few rules that you need to understand when it comes to now the plus and how to get the negative and things like that. But in this case, because they're both positive, we have a positive there and a positive there, that would mean that our answer will just simply be x x plus 9 and x plus 8. And that is our two methods. So that is the first method. Then if we look at our second method, the second method is we need to split the middle term into two so that we can use grouping, so that we have four terms. And we can use grouping to find our brackets. If you still haven't watched the video on grouping, please go have a look at that to find our two brackets. Excuse me. So we need to split the middle term into two so that we have four terms and we can use grouping to find our two brackets. So in this case, we have x squared plus 17x plus 72. So x squared x squared plus 17x plus 72. So we need to split this positive 17. So we essentially need to end up with four terms. So we'll have our first term which stays the same and our last term which stays the same, but the 17 needs to change. But because we have a positive, that means all our terms will then be positive. So it will be positive and positive. So we need to split that into two. So in order for us to split it, you should already know that whenever we have 2x plus 3x, it gives us 5x. So even if we have 5x and we try splitting the 5x, we can split it into 2x and 3x. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to take the 17x and split it into two by using the like terms kind of thing. So it will both have an x as a variable. But now we need to see, okay, which two numbers added together will give us 17, but then we also need to take into account that they need to group. So whatever the numbers we get, this needs to be a group and that needs to be a group so that we can be able to take out a common factor. So that's what I mean. So we already looked at the previous question and the previous method, and we already know it's plus 9 plus 8. So we can just maybe take out 9 and then we can take out 8. Okay, so 9 and 8. So 9 plus 8 will give us 17. So now in order to find our two brackets, we'll then do the following. We take out x in the first group and we're left with x plus 9. In our second group, we take out 8 and we're left with x plus 9. And then now we can see that, okay, x plus 9 is the same. So one of our brackets will be x plus 9 and the other bracket will be x plus 8. Excuse me, x plus 8. And then that will give us our answer. So that essentially will be our answer. So that is the second method. If we look at our third method, and this method, guys, really, you get to it when you're in matric. The reason why I'm showing this to you guys is because someone will prefer this method and there's no harm in using this method, essentially. So that's why I'm showing this to you. because it is the easiest. And trust me, I was devastated when now I was in matric and I realized, oh wow, they didn't tell us this whole time. So yeah, I don't want you guys to have that experience. So the third method, you just use a formula. And our formula is negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So the plus minus means we have to do it twice, okay? So let's go back to our example. So that's the formula you need to remember. So we have x squared minus 17x plus 72. So we need to do this twice because we're looking for two brackets, hence why we have the plus minus over there. So the first time we try and do it, we can just say negative, and then our b value. Our b value, this is plus. Our b value is 17, so we're going to have negative 17 plus 17 squared minus 4, a is 1, c is 72, and then we're going to divide by 2a. So we're going to say divide by 2, and our a value is 1. That's for the one bracket. The next bracket, we're going to have negative 17 minus, same concept, 17 squared minus 4a, and then our c value is 72 divided by 2, and a is that. Now you will see when you get to your answer, you will get one number. So for example, you will either get, let me change this. So you will get, for example, let's quickly punch it in our calculator. So we'll have negative, I'm going to do the first one, 17 plus 17 squared minus 4ac is 72 divided by 2a is 1. So I'm going to get negative 8. So our answer will then give us maybe x is equals to negative 8. So that's the one with the plus. Then if we just put our arrow on our calculator and don't remove everything, just go back to go remove the negative, the positive, and make it a negative, we will get negative 9. That's what we're going to get. But this is not our answer. Our answer is whatever this is, we need to put it back into brackets. So we're going to put this and say x. We're going to put our x. And then if the sign is negative, that means in our bracket, it will be positive 8. If it's negative, it will be positive 8. And then positive 9, sorry. Positive 9. Positive 9. And then that means that these are your two brackets. So your two brackets is x plus 8, x plus 9. The reason why we have to go change the sign is because we get our answer of negative 8. But essentially what this means is if we were to take this, and let's say, for example, we say 8 plus 8 is equals to 0, then we have to get the value of x. X essentially will be negative 8. And that's exactly what we're getting there. But we need the bracket. So if it was negative, it becomes positive. If it was positive, it becomes negative. And those are your two brackets. And that is the way in which you can use this method to find your trinomials. So I've shown you guys 3 ways. Please use the method that works best for you. I would recommend this one, method 3, simply because when you get to questions like this, questions like, for example, R, you have now 9 as an A, 99, 162. It can get a little bit challenging, you know. So in order for you to do a good job, method 3 will be ideal. So I'm not trying to force anyone to use method 3. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just showing all three so that you guys can pick whichever one you are comfortable with. So that is when it comes to our trinomials. Please, I need you guys to try these questions out. If you need assistance on any one of them, let me know. The trick that I'm going, or some um hints that I'll give to everyone when it comes to this one is you need to figure out something. You can already see that we have grouping, not grouping, common factor. This has an M, this has an N, this is an M, this is an M. So we already know that if you take out a common factor, let's say the common factor is M and N, then we're going to have to do our bracket, blah, blah, blah. And then this bracket is what we're going to see a trinomial, 9 out of 10. And then from there, you can then figure out your answer. So please, guys, have a look at these, figure out the method that works best for you. Let us know in the comment section below which method do you prefer? Which method works best for you? And then, yeah, hit the like button if you like this video, and please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.